Welcome to Keys from my inbox. Woo! I am your host, attackslug. This is the show where I look at unsolicited video games that show up in my email inbox. And today, taking a look at The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 2 for the Xbox One. As you may have seen, I did a video on the first Van Helsing that was part of the Games with Gold back in December of 2015, and a scant 8 or 9 months later, now we have Part 2, which came out on Xbox One a month ago, came out on PC a couple of years ago, and we're gonna hop in here. This is an action RPG hack and slash, much in the vein of Diablo or Torchlight. Actually, before I even get started, you've got some options here. When you start a new character, you've got some options. So let's head into change characters. We're not actually going to do it, but we're going to head into it here. So we're going to hit Y to create character. So you can start off at level 1. This is a direct sequel to the first game. I recommend not going to that. You can import, if you finish that game, the first game. I didn't. If you finished it, you can import your character into this game. That will be the recommended way. But if you didn't play enough, don't worry. The game gives you plenty of backstory to kind of explain what happened. And then you can say, hey, I'm going to start at level 30 here. And then you've got a bunch of classes to pick from, etc., etc. You can kind of, you can customize it as much as you want. But we're not going to do that. We're going to back out here and go with Van Helsing, as it were. I've played, maybe like 45 minutes-ish of this. Perhaps a bit less, but this is very much like the last game. It is a direct sequel, but they kind of explain enough at the beginning to, catch you up. It is $15, like I said that at the beginning. So if you're expecting a full-priced big endeavor like, say, Diablo 3, not quite that. But for 15 bucks, it, is about what you would... It is about what it was the last time. But that being said, I do have some complaints, as I tend to have with most games, because no game's perfect unless you're Spelunky. So I don't mind the load time so much. Like, once you get in and it's loaded, it's kind of okay. This game, like most sequels, is just bigger and better, and I didn't really feel like the frame rate stuff was that bad in the first one, but man, there's a lot of NPCs, a lot of things going on here. The frame rate is not great. It's not unplayable, like, it's solid, but it's solid in its, it's not hitting 30 here, I'm pretty sure. It's not hitting 30 here, and you get some action, things pick up, and it's like, man. So that's kind of my primary complaint here, is that the frame rate is kind of junk. Now, obviously, if you have a reasonable enough PC that you built in the last couple of years, certainly there is a Final Cut version of this game that has all 3 parts to it on PC. So I would highly recommend that, but certainly on PC you have a variety of options for this style of game, so perhaps that would not be, in your interest. I don't know. I've always heard good things, and I've played, a little bit of that first one, but not too much. I'm honestly really damn busy most of the time. And unless a game like super grabs me, I don't really have time to get into it as much as I would like to. Anyway, got some dialogue here. The voice acting, much like the last one, is still pretty good. And we got 2 choices here. Risk the plan. Let's do this. So pretty much everything else from the first one is the same. I kind of wish they had kind of got the engine a little bit, less, like, if they cleaned up the engine stuff. Now, perhaps that's really difficult on Xbox One because of its, kind of lacking in power as compared to, say, the PS4. But, alright, that's an invisible wall. I can't go that way. So the map here, you can see where there are little circles that are making little, circles. Elevator. Take down the elevator, and we're gonna have some more combat here. From there, oh, these guys. So it is, if you've played this genre of game before, it is pretty much what you would expect from this genre of game. And I do find these a lot of fun. So if perhaps you are, if you're looking for a new one, or if you know, just played the hell out of all the other ones, or if you want something different, or if you're a fan of the Van Helsing intellectual property, then perhaps you already know about this. But I got an email like last week saying, hey, here's a copy of the game, so you should play it. And I'm like, okay. Now, I should kind of understand, I should kind of explain how YouTube works and why that first video I did got a couple of thousand views. And it's very simple. That was part of the Games with Gold, and I happened to be home when that video went up. Therefore, I was the first one on YouTube with game footage of that video, so therefore, I got a bunch of views. This thing is like a month late, so it's gonna do nowhere near those views. But far be it for me to ignore a developer who decided to send me a game, for better or for worse, I suppose. But I am not doing great here. I'm gonna heal. I'm gonna hit right trigger. And these chopper champions, man. So, I did try for a little bit. I hopped in and chose level 1. That was a bad idea. That was a real bad idea, because I got my ass handed to me. It's got, you know, the usual amount of different difficulties you would want from this thing. It has the hardcore difficulty of, you know, 1 death and you're done. Like, it has all the things that you want from this genre. All these tropes are very well worn at this point, so that's not entirely surprising. So before I continue here, well, actually, since we just gained a level, you can see here you've got a bunch of points to put into stuff, but much like the last game, just the amount of menus here and having to control them on a controller is just like a bit much. To be honest, it's a bit much. There's a lot of stuff going on here with you and your companion and all the different things that you can interact with and do, and it's, yeah. It can be overwhelming, and there's a lot of kind of micromanagement to think about. Now, because you are Van Helsing, I can back up here and use a gun and be like, shoot you. But honestly, I haven't, like, I'm not really specialized in the gun stuff, so that hasn't really been that valid of an option for me. I've more or less just kind of been getting the swords and doing the hack and slash. But there are a bunch of different classes that you can choose from. And you can even use classes that were DLC only classes in that first game, because obviously if they're going to allow you to import your character, and you're not, if they're going to allow you to import your character, they're not going to make you buy DLC just to import your character. So thankfully they did the smart thing here and allowed you to import your classes. Allowed you to import your character without having to pay. I'm just having word problems here. My apologies. Me and my word problems. I got things to say, so of course it's a problem. Anyway, you kind of get the idea here. When there aren't as many guys on screen, or when the area is not as bad, it seems like the frame rate does improve a little bit. But when things get hectic, man, it's real bad. It's real bad. So keep that in mind if you've got a reasonable PC and perhaps you want to pick up the Final Cut version. But this is on Xbox One. It is $15, and it is more or less what you want it to be, I guess. I don't know. If you played the first one, then perhaps you're already playing this one, and perhaps you don't need me to tell you about it. But those of you who don't know about it, I guess that's what this video's for, I suppose. Let's do this shit here and make a cutscene happen. Break that bridge, because that seems like a good idea. Quest complete. I get some rewards, some XP, and some money. Cash money. And then we kind of continue on with our questing here. There is these warp points here, which are actually pretty useful in terms of getting around, because you can get back here to your guy here and be like, look, what's up, Commander? And then the game kind of continues from there. So Whether or not you find that interesting or compelling or worth playing, that's all up to personal opinion. I might play more of this, but most likely I won't have enough time, because as this channel gets bigger, I have more and more developers and publishers sending me emails saying, hey, play our thing! And I'm like, oh, okay. I already have a schedule, and that schedule is mostly wrestling games and Mario Maker and sometimes GTA and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, that being said, if you like the hack and slash, this is the Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing on the Xbox One, and the frame rate here is not being kind to me, but that's okay. Thanks for watching. This is Keys from My Inbox. I am your host, attackslug. I am hacking and or slashing. I'm freezing time. Things are happening. I'm getting myself lost because it's kind of hard to make him out in this game occasionally, but that's okay. I'm going to stay in here and just get chopped at and die. I don't know. Whatever. Thanks for watching. More videos every day, and I'll see you next time right here on this channel, and I'm out.